for example, if we said that there is 10 construction workers for every 1 million project, then that means there would be 100 construction workers for a 10 million project, or there would be 1,000 workers for a 100 million project, assuming my ratio is correct. And my numbers are very basic, so madali naman pong sundan yan, okay? So for every 100 peso, 100 million peso project, there will be 100 workers, 1,000 workers. So nung nagkaroon po tayo ng ghost projects na worth 100 million pesos, pwede kong i-argue na 1,000 construction workers ang nawalan ng trabaho dahil nga may ghost project. So let the record show that the Secretary answered yes, kasi hindi naka-on yung mic. Yes.
Tama po.
Tama.
Madam
So
Chair.
during the ghost project era, for every 100 million pesos, and again, this is just an estimate, I'm saying 1,000 construction workers, hindi na nga nakapagtrabaho, ninakawan pa sila ng sweldo. Diba? I mean, how bad is that? So that is the situation we have. And Mr. Secretary, how many ghost projects have you confirmed, and how many do you suspect are still out there? Whatever numbers you have that you can share with us.
Right now, Mr. Chairman, Madam Senator, our numbers are still, for flood control, our validation is still ongoing. But for Bulacan alone, we have already discovered roughly about 15 ghost projects in Bulacan alone.
Are these the ghost projects that were roughly close to 100 million, like a little bit less, around that price? Or?
Most of them po are within that range, between 100 to 140
using my
million.
guesstimate of 1,000 workers for every 100 million peso project times 15, that's 15,000 workers that never got a job and ninakaw pa yung sweldo nila.
That is correct.
Correct.
Madam
Okay.
Chair.
So that is our situation that you discovered. Kumbaga, nadiskubre mo na yan, wala ka namang kinalaman dyan, nadiskubre mo yan, at marami pa sigurong iba dahil we know that you are investigating other regions, di ba? May mga narinig na rin tayong mga ibang probinsya. So we know that for a fact that is ongoing. So, this is the next point I'm going to bring up. So, when we in the Senate, and for that matter, I'm sure our colleagues in the House did the same, review the budget of DPWH, and the amount is 600 plus billion, no? 670 billion, is that correct? That is the amount that I recall. And then the Secretary had requested, sabi ni Presidente, babaan nyo yung budget, and then the Secretary informed the Senate, babaan nyo ng 50-something million. Tama? 53? Tama ba, Mr. Chairman? Yung ano yung binawas natin? 53 billion. Parang 53 sa magic number. Yun din yung sa PhilHealth na NEP na kulang tayo ng 16 billion. Just to say, okay, kung mga may numerologists dyan, 53. Okay, 53 billion yung, ha? Natandaan ko lang. 53 million yung natanggal sa Senate version. And that was based on the recommendation that the DPWH gave us, correct?
Sorry, no. Let me clarify. In the committee hearings, I was asked a question, Madam Senator. If the DPWH cannot bring down the price of materials, will you agree to a 25% across the board cut? And my answer during that hearing was yes. However, we were able, based on the directive of the President, to reduce the prices of materials as far as cement, steel, etc.
That's later.
That's
No, okay.
later,
So
yes.
let me just go chronological
So
order.
the 53 billion, I just need to correct it, Madam Senator, did not come from DPWH.
Okay. But the Senate used the input that the Secretary provided and came up with the 53 billion. So sa Senado na yan, no? We came up with that number.
Yes, which I tried to clarify in today's,
Correct.
in the presentation today. Thank you very much.
Pero I also listened to the interventions of my colleagues. So I won't go into that detail. Basta 53 billion based on the understanding of the Senate on the instructions given and our desire to reduce the cost because there were a lot of overpricing as far as we understood it to be, also based on the President's directive and His Honor's explanation to us. So having said that, may 53 billion tayo ngayong binawas. And the argument before us now, as you are presenting it, is pag ito yung na-adapt, that the DPWH is less 53 billion, baka may mga projects na hindi matapos ng maayos. And that is the first statement you made when I took the floor, na yun yung concern nyo na ma-affect yung economic development natin, because there may be some project, maybe not all, but there may be some projects na dahil sa smaller budget na binigay, hindi matapos. Tama ho yun, di ba? Yung
Tama po.
pagkasabi nyo. Okay. Pero Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, yung work ko personally as Vice Chairman of the Committee on Finance for the past 7 years only touches on constructions to the extent that I chair the Committee on Education, and so I'm very familiar with the failure of DPWH to build enough classrooms. Very, very familiar. I can present to you for the last 7 years what I'm presenting every year na from the start of the President's presidency, kung ganito kalaki yung pinasok sana na pondo within the President's term in 6 years, wala na tayong classroom wala na tayong classroom deficiency, but of course no one listened to my suggestions. So I'm familiar with that. I'm also familiar with the construction of state universities and colleges. Congressman Rufus, I'm a big supporter of our state university, USTP in Cagayan de Oro, and many others all over. 6 years kong hinawakan yun, at kaya ko lang hindi hawak ngayon dahil kinuha sa akin ng chairman. I will always say that because he does a great job. Magkasundo naman kami dito, but that's the reason why I'm not handling it now. So, may konting alam naman ako, kahit na from the eyes lang of a lawyer who's handling the budget. And so, let's just say kinapush yung projects. I don't know, maybe His Honor said there are 10,000 projects. Maybe let's say kinapush ang 10% nun or 5% nun, whatever that number is. Diba may phase 2 naman? Pwede naman ituloy? I mean, ikamamatay ba natin? Because the people will still be employed. They will still, bibilin pa rin yung bakal na mas mamura yung presyo, bibilin pa rin yung semento na mas totoo na yung presyo, i-hired pa rin naman yung construction worker. Ay, kaya lang yung nabigay kasi nyo sa Senado, ang kukulit nyo kasi, gusto nyo mag-ingat, ang binigay nyo medyo kapos, di ituloy sa susunod na taon, ikamamatay ba natin yun? Perishable ba yun? Yun lang naman ang tanong ko, because I have encountered this issue so many times, because pag humingi ako ng budget para dun sa construction ng State University dormitories, by the way, that is my passion, so mga colleagues, sa mga lugar nyo, sabihin nyo sa akin kung meron tayong matutulungan dyan sa susunod. It's my passion. Pag kinulang, di next phase 2. Pag kinulang, di may phase 3. So, yun lang naman yung sa akin. And after I get an answer from the Secretary, I'll tell you why I'm exploring this option because of the next point I'm going to make.
Just to, I think, simplify the answer to this question, Mr. Chairman, Madam Senator, I think the concern is, kapag po, halimbawa, no, yung proyektong pinakita natin kanina sa Region 4B, that was in Romblon, no, by the way, kung ganun po kalaki yung cut doon, no, 68 versus I think yung tama dapat na cut na 37% instead of 68. So kalahati. Wala pong magbibid doon sa proyektong yun. Wala magbibid. Kasi po, hindi po kaya, no? So, ang pwede pong gawin ng DPWH doon is igsian yung, imomodify po yung proyekto. Ibig sabihin, kung yan 10 kilometro dapat, pwedeng gawin ng DPWH, iigsian, no, yung proyekto para lang maging implementable. Pero, yan po, ginagawa po yan, no? It's called modification, no? But, yun nga, sayang nga po yung economic activity. Kasi obviously, pagka yung 10 kilometro po, ginawa na lang 5 kilometro o 3 kilometro, lesser economic activity po yun, mas maigsi yung trabaho, yung araw na pagtatrabahuan ng ating mga kababayan, etc. At mas konting simento, mas konting bakal, etc. So yun po ang real effect po ng isang proyektong tulad nung pinakita natin kanina. Pero tama po kayo. Marami pong mga proyekto ang DPWH na hindi natatapos ng on time, no? Pero ganun po ang immediate effect kung susundin po natin yung nasa Senate version. So, tama po kayo, we can live with it. We can, to be quite honest. But that is the real effect. If a project is reduced from 41 million to 13 million, when the real price based on the new prices is a project of 30 million, then there will be an effect on the project itself. Yun nga po, we're just informing the honorable members of the BICAM of that real effect.
Okay, so I understand, no? You're basically agreeing with me that if necessary, pwede naman ituloy yon the next year, okay? And the reason, and I understand yung nanghihinayang po tayo na, pero kung pwede naman buuin, sino ba naman may gustong mabitin? For example, may sports project ako dun sa probinsya ni Congressman Abet Garcia. Eh, ba't ko naman ipapa 2 years from now kung pwede nang mabuo next year, kung pwede nang maglaro yung mga bata doon, kung pwede na tayong magkaroon ng the next Southeast Asian Games champion doon, di ba? Bakit nga naman? I agree. But, ito na nga yung next point na sinasabi ko. Mr. Secretary, you will recall how important communication is, especially during the time that you were the COVID SAR, the vaccination SAR. No less than WHO emphasized that one of the pillars in addressing this COVID epidemic was proper communications. Apat lang yung pillars nila, di ko na maalala yung tatlo, pero yung communication, imagine, was included in the pillars, communication. So ito nangyari. Nabalitaan na merong mga flood control and massive corruption in DPWH. And the President made a statement about it. And then DPWH stepped up under your leadership and addressing this, going on site, identifying the areas that were victims of this massive corruption. So what did we communicate to the people? Hindi tayo papayag na may ganitong klaseng korupsyon. Hindi tayo papayag na may mga kontraktor at may mga konsyabang government employees, officials from all levels, hindi tayo papayag. That is the message. That was what was communicated. So when we step into this BICAM today, ang bit-bit natin lahat, or at least namin sa Senado, nag-reduce ng presyo based on that same communication, based on that same script. Ito ang gagawin natin para sa taong bayan. We will show up. We will not allow this to happen. So when you come back now and tell us, nagbago na yung script, there's other reasons why hindi natin pwedeng babaan. Napakahirap kasi wala tayong enough time na i-communicate ng maayos sa taong bayan yan. Kahit ako, nahihirapan akong intindihin, sikmurahin because we made an across the board, across the what do you call that? An all of government, all of government approach. Whole of government approach, di ba? The President, his alter ego, the Secretary, members of the House, members of the Senate. Tapos, ang pinangahawakan ng mga tao is we will not allow this overpricing. I know it is not as simple as that. Many times, I have had to make tough decisions in pushing for measures, including, let's say, the CREATE law. Hindi naman lahat masaya ang mga businessmen doon dahil may mga tinamaan. Sabi natin, wag na natin ibigay yung todo-todong, ano tawag dito, yung deductions, yung incentives. Yung incentives that they have been receiving for 40 years. siguro naman after 40 years, pwede na kayo magbayad ng tax, di ba? Pero hindi sila masaya, but we have to do the difficult thing. So I am very willing, Mr. Chairman, to do the difficult job, to try to see kung papaano tayo makakapag-provide ng more support to economic activities, especially in the countryside. But it cannot be at the expense of people thinking that we are backtracking, thinking that ngayon, okay lang sa atin na ibalik yung presyong mataas. Kasi yun nga yung presyong dinatnan natin nung may korupsyon. Ang hirap himayin, tapos nagmamadali pa. Napakahirap. At hindi ko yata kayang gawin kasi nga, hindi yan yung kinommunicate natin sa mga tao. Kaya even though, and I think my colleagues will vouch for this, I'm always willing to listen. I'm always willing to listen to change my mind if I am presented with facts, with evidence that will require that I change my mind. That is our job. Hindi bagay dito yung sarado utak. So kailangan open tayo. Pero ang hirap intindihin. Yun lang talaga. So that is where I personally have difficulty. And you know that, Mr. Secretary, ikaw pa, I always listen to you. Intindihin nyo lang sana po kung gaano kahirap ito kasi the people also trust. Sabi nyo nga, it's a trust issue. Yes, and the people trust us. So we cannot just say, ibabalik yung presyo. I heard you, Mr. Secretary. Hindi totoo, ibabalik yung flood control project. I heard you. Hindi totoo. Lahat ng hindi totoo, I heard you. But simply putting back that budget sends the wrong message. And we know that. We know that. We are all communication experts in our own little way. So, yun po, if somebody can shed light, can improve this communication in the next 24 hours, then let's try to do it because no one here does not want to see countryside development. No one here does not want to support. O baka double negative, hindi maintindihan, baliktarin ko na lang. Everyone here wants to support development in Mindanao, in Visayas, in Palawan, of course. Lahat, hindi, tinuro ko na kanina pa. Lahat naman gusto, pero sa panong paraan na ang tao kaya nilang intindihin na hindi natin tinatalikuran yung ating commitment sa kanila, na hindi tayo papayag na may kalokohan and all, I say all, the safeguards are there. So yun lang, Mr. Secretary, you know me well enough to know that I don't want to make your job harder than it is. I have so much admiration for the work you have done and the work you continue to do. But help us out here because this is not something that we can easily just say, okay lang, balik sa presyong gano'n. Mahirap po.
Unang-una po, Madam Chair, maraming salamat. At tama po lahat ng sinabi nyo. This is a trust issue.